So by the end of this lesson, we want to be able to carry out simplifications involving more advanced indices. We're going to be doing 3 worked examples that ties together what we've learnt so far. We will be covering expanding the brackets and multiplying out brackets, which is a separate part of the course, but it's always good to come back to these kind of things. Okay, so the question is simplify k squared multiplied by, in brackets, k to the power 3 minus k to the power of -2. So the first thing, I'm going to multiply throughout here by k to the power of 2. So we've got k to the power of 2 times k to the power of 3. Take away k to the power of 2 times k to the power of -2. So we're going to be using 2 different laws. We're going to be using the first law here. So k squared times k to the power of 3. We're going to add these two up. And we're going to do the same here. K squared times k to the power of -2. Just like that. So this becomes k to the power of 5. And that becomes k to the power of 0. Do you remember what this is? Remember, anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So this comes to k to the power of 5, take away 1. Alright. Question 2. Simplify p squared times p to the -3. And what we want to do is give our answer with a positive power. So the first thing, we're going to apply the first law of indices to these. So same base, p, and we're going to add the 2 and the -3. So that's p to the power of 2 minus 3. So we've got p to the -1. And we're going to apply the law of index that states that an index with a negative power is 1 over that index with the positive power. So in this case, it'll be 1 over p to the power of 1. Which is just 1 over p. Alright, and finally, evaluate 64 to the power of 2/3. So this word evaluate means we have to give a numerical answer. Alright, so let's start with this. What does this mean? Now this is the 7th law of indices, which states we're going to have a cube root of 64 squared, all squared, just like this. Now what we're going to do first of all is we're going to evaluate the cube root of 64 and then square that answer. Now that's much better practice, and the way to do it, rather than squaring 64 and taking the cube root of that answer. This is why we put these in brackets, because we're going to do the inside of the brackets first, which comes to 4. And then it'll be 4 squared, which is 16. So a couple of things to point out here to help you is that we're always going to evaluate the root part first. So whatever we put in the brackets. So here we're going to do the cube root of 64. And you kind of, well, it's a good idea to learn your cubes, because you need to know your cubes. If you've asked this in an exam and you can't use a calculator, you have to know your cubes. You have to know that the cube root of 64 is 4, or conversely, 4 cubed is 64. Okay, so a few things to take note of there.